Yo, what's up guys, Grim here. So this is going to be a quick update video. We acquired our second headhunter. So I set up the league to get a headhunter and then I teamed up with another player on around day 3. Never met him before, but we decided to team up. He rolled a support. We power leveled that up. We geared it out. It's got all the support stuff, like the Triula amulet, shavs, all that good stuff. So we got that all done. And then we set out after we got my headhunter to get him his. So that's like, it's kind of just fair, like one each. I will say though, this one was considerably hard to get. Market prices have kind of changed a little bit. A lot of the really big ticket items like a Devotos went from selling for like 25C day 1 or 2 to now selling for like 5C. So that was kind of difficult. We don't have any of those big currency influxes that we were getting on day 1 and 2. However, we still did it. In terms of what we sold to kind of make the money, we did a lot of Guardian maps. We sold them for a lot. We got quite a few Raw Exalt drops, and we got some big chase items as well, like a Taste of Hate. And we sold a lot of the wind cards from Atoll. And we also built a taming ring from our estuary map that we shaped up. We got I think it's Heterochromia sets. We handed those in, and we got the 3 different rings, vended them. We got a taming. That's a few exalts there. In terms of other big sellers, we sold a lot of essences. Another big one was rings. We sell a lot of rings, so I do a deal right now. To whoever whispers me is 40 rings for 40 rings for 10 chaos, yeah. And that one goes really well. A lot of people like to do the chaos recipe, and rings are really annoying to get. So yeah, I sell them to these people in bulk. Like they sometimes buy 200 at a time, so that's a lot of chaos there as well. So apart from that, that's kind of like how we got it. It was way more expensive. The Headhunter cards are up to like 800 chaos. When I bought them, they're about 515 chaos. So really big gap there from like early on in the league to now in the league. So it was more expensive, but it was still a fun grind. And now we have 2, 1 each. So that's really cool. So the second part of this video, I just wanted to do a quick update on my character and kind of tell you what I'm going to be doing next. So there will be a full comprehensive guide coming out. So there'll be like how to like kill the bosses in the maps, like to progress your atlas, a guide with the headhunter, a guide without the headhunter, inspired learning, all that stuff. I'll be telling you exactly how to do all that stuff, and I'll make sure that you have the kind of a step-by-step process to get through it, because I see a lot of people like picking this build up and struggling quite a bit. The boss damage initially is quite low. But there is a lot of solutions to that. I'll give you a few quick tips right now. A lot of people come into the maps and they've copied my build kind of like exactly, and it is as it is now, like my build now. So you don't exactly want to be doing that. If you're killing bosses, there's a lot of better alternatives to what we're running right now. So obviously you're not going to have the headhunter, so we'll get rid of that. You want to be using the Darkness Enthralled belt, and you want to socket in some cheap Abyss jewels. Just spend 1 or 2 chaos with a ton of added lightning or cold damage or physical damage to spells. And then you can also look for this one here, increase cast speed if you've dealt a critical strike recently. That's another really big one, which is going to help you out a lot. And then obviously life is great as well. So yeah, get some added spell damage, get some cast speed on crit, and then you'll be pretty set with that belt. The other thing is, excuse me, you don't want to be using Ventus Gambles if you're trying to progress on the Atlas. These are a purely magic find item. Similarly with Biscos, you don't want to be using this when you're progressing the Atlas. They're for when your Atlas is set up and you're power farming maps, you're chaining them really quickly, and they'll basically increase your returns from those maps. So you don't want to be using this when you're trying to kill a boss, because they're just going to tank your damage way down. And what you want to replace them with is probably a few diamond rings for the rings, with maybe a cold damage or a lightning damage roll on them. Or maybe you can get some coral rings as well with some resists on them. Don't use magic find gear to begin with. You want to get this magic find gear after you finish the Atlas and you're in farm mode, and when you're just smashing out maps after, like one after another. The other thing is you can replace the gold worms as well. You can get life on those. You can get Comb's Roots, which will make you immune to stuns, which is really massive. So that'll increase your survivability a lot, especially against abyss monsters, which will be stunning you a lot, like the big chopper guys, the hand scythe guys. They stun you heaps. So I would put Chrome's Roots in your boot slot instead of Gold Roam if you're trying to progress, and that'll be really good. And then finally as well, if you're trying to progress just on bosses, like going hard on bosses, you don't really want to be using Escher's Mirror either. And the reason for that is Escher's Mirror is kind of like a kill streak item. It gives you benefits from killing monsters really fast, and not doing challenging ones like bosses. So the more monsters you kill, obviously the more damage you get from this, but if you're not killing any monsters, it's literally just a shield that says 54 life, 39 lightning resist on this one. So what you want to do is replace this, if you're trying to do the boss kills, with a spell damage, spell crit, or spell crit multi shield with maybe a bit of life on it as well. And then finally, obviously, one of the biggest items you can get for damage in the game is a spell power weapon. There's a lot of really crazy Elder and Shaper daggers out there, but basically just get a dagger that has a bit of critical strike for spells, a bit of crit multi on it, a bit of maybe spell power on it as well. And if you're feeling kind of slow, then you can get a bit of cast speed and attack speed on it as well. And then when you've done all the Atlas stuff, you've shaped up your Atlas, you can swap into your Brightbeak, all your Cleat Spear meta stuff, and then you can go from there. And then again, Light Poacher isn't great for bossing, to be honest. I know that helmets can actually have increased spell damage, increased projectile damage on it now, and I think they can also get conversion on them. So you can actually swap out Light Poacher as well, but Light Poacher isn't bad for damage because you can put 2 Abyssal Sockets in it, and that's really good. But on bosses, you generally won't be triggering the Spirit Burst ability because there won't be ads for you to slay to get charges. So all these items are really there for speed clearing, speed farming, getting lots of currency. These are the items you put on when you've done the Atlas, not necessarily for completing the Atlas. So yeah, there's just a few tips like for that. I will be doing a video on this kind of stuff. What's going on here? Why can't I use this? I put the wrong Headhunter on. So yeah, I'll have a full in-depth guide covering everything like that. And then you'll be able to fully understand how to take your character through and make sure you're progressing at the rate you want to be progressing at and not getting stuck. So yeah, that's that out of the way. There's just going to be tons of content coming up now that we've got this Headhunter out of the way. My next character I'm planning is Blade Vortex. I'm probably going to go with Inquisitor, and I'm probably going to go Energy Shield as well. The reason I'm going Energy Shield is because you can get a lot of stats from the new pieces. I can get like 10% increased attributes on belt. I think it's another 10 or 15% on the chest piece, and maybe even some more on the head piece as well. So basically what that gives you is a ton of intellect, and intellect multiplies energy shield. I'm pretty sure it's a percentage. I don't know 100%. Yeah, so 5 intelligence is 1% energy shield, and if you have like 500 intelligence, and then you multiply that by 25%, you're getting a ton of percentage energy shield from that. And then all the Abyss Jewels will give you flat energy shield, so I think it shouldn't be too difficult to get up around 20k ES. And then I'm going to stack a shitload of percentage energy shield regeneration. And hopefully I'll be able to make my character pretty much immortal with that. So that'll be pretty fun. Make sure you stick around for that. Next video obviously is going to be probably either the guide or a lot of stuff to do with the Atlas in terms of strategies that you can employ. Kind of like a few different ones. So yeah, look out for that, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.